What are Labubus and how do you spot a fake one? Let's get right onto it. I've been bombarded with Labubus because I watched one YouTube video from a creator where they talked about purse charms, and I ultimately thought purse charms were stupid. Like, I thought that was such a silly, dumb idea. I happened to go to the mall the next day and I spotted a Have a Seat Labubu box that I recognized from that YouTuber's video. I genuinely had this idea of like, oh, that's the thing I saw in that YouTube video. And I remember them saying that they were wildly popular and very hard to get. So I struck up a conversation with the seller and they also were like, yep, they're very hard to get. We only get so many and they're wildly popular. So I was convinced and I bought one for myself and my assistant, and thus my addiction was born. In that moment, we thought what we had was real Labubus. And then I started falling down this rabbit hole on TikTok where I was getting bombarded with fake Labubus versus real Labubus. And all the information was so confusing as I didn't have a fake or a real one to compare it with. Spoiler alert, we will be comparing two very convincing Labubus at the very end of this video, so stick around while I give you the lore of the Labubus and where they're sold. PopMart is a Chinese company that was founded in 2010 by Wang Ning and initially focused on youth culture and trends in China, but they very quickly grew in popularity with the blind box concept. Now, blind box is exactly what it sounds like it is. It is a toy that is prepped into a box. It usually will have a printed side with the variations of little toys you can get. You open it up and have no idea which one of the variations you are going to receive. They're typically sold in different collections, different styles, different characters, storylines, but it really grew in popularity because people had no idea what they were going to be opening and what they would be receiving, which makes for a very fun or frustrating experience depending on if you enjoy the mystery or if you just want one particular toy and you keep getting the one you don't want. I've been on the receiving end of both. I find it both to be fun and frustrating. Who doesn't love a challenge, you know? Most of these collections have what's called a chase, which basically is a mystery toy that is not pictured on the box and is deemed rare and sometimes even more valuable than the other toys that you can collect. Now, in the case of PopMart, they don't just call them chases, they like to call them the secret. So if you're lucky enough to get a secret, hold on to dear life of that toy because there's probably somebody out there that's willing to pay big dollars for that secret. Most people fall into the trap of these blind boxes because they want to collect the entire set, including the chase, which is what keeps them coming back and buying blind box after blind box, spending all of their money in order to complete a collection. Now they almost encourage you to buy the sets that they sell, where it's like 6 or maybe 7 blind boxes that guarantee you will get one of each one aside from the chase, because obviously it's rare, they can't guarantee that you'll get it, but they do this because instead of getting someone to buy just one blind box, they then can get you to buy an entire collection that could range anywhere between $160 upwards to $200 depending upon the set, which is good marketing on their behalf. Like, that's very smart. This is a good way to get people to buy blind boxes. A YouTube channel called Toy Chat, which is wildly underrated, has a complete lore of the Zumomos and the Labubus and the creator. So if you are interested in more of the background information, definitely go check them out. Give them a subscribe, give them a watch, because today we're going to be focusing on some other things. But I do want to draw attention to another component that caused the Labubus to skyrocket and boom, which is a celebrity face to hype up the brand. What really skyrocketed this particular purse charm is a Blackpink star named Lisa, who would wear Labubus on her designer handbags and even do an interview on Vanity Fair about her secret obsession with PopMart blind boxes. So they were already pretty popular because they were really cute, but it was sort of underground at the time. It was very easy to get one in a PopMart store, but because Lisa from Blackpink was starting to become obsessed with them, wear them on her expensive handbags, the craze just began to bubble even more. But today we are solely focusing on how to spot a fake even before you buy the Labubu, because I have found it is very confusing to spot the fake from the real. And I wanted to make one video that you could keep coming back to before you purchase a Labubu, so that way you make sure you're getting exactly what you're paying for, and also you don't fall for the fake scammers that are out there, or even the scalpers that are out there, because they exist now since Labubus are very high in demand. PopMart did just launch the third variation of the Labubus, which I don't actually have in my possession, so I won't be able to tell you on which one of those are real or fake, just because I don't feel comfortable giving that information. But I do have a lot of insider tips on how to spot a exciting macaroon fake and a have a seat fake. So let's get right on into it. Upon first glance of a Labubu box, the first thing that you should do is take note of the size of the box, especially when it comes to the exciting macaroon collection. In this TikToker's clip right here, you can very easily see that the fake seems to be modeled after the have a seat box, as opposed to the typical exciting macaroon box is a bit taller just because the figures are standing. So you can easily spot out a fake just based on the sizing. Plus, also in this photo, you can see that the color is a bit off, which is hard to compare if you don't have a real one in your possession and you've never seen a real one. But typically the exciting macaroon box tends to be a little bit more pastel, and the fakes are a little bit more vibrant and a little bit more like colorful and cartoony. So you can usually clock a fake if it's more vibrant rather than like a pastel finish for the exciting macaroon collection only. Now, when it comes to have a seat, it's a little bit more difficult to spot the difference because the differences are very, very small, but we'll dive into that in a little bit. Now let's talk a little bit about the price of the Labubus. People like to use the price range that you pay for your Labubu as an indication if you are getting a fake or what is called a Lafufu, coined on TikTok. But I personally don't feel like the price is a clear indication of if your Labubu is real or not, because the popularity of the brand has become insane, astronomical, so much so that when version 3 dropped, the entire PopMart website crashed for many people, leaving them Labubu-less, which means the scalpers had set up bots to get their hands on the new collection first. So I believe that the price of the Labubu that you're paying for, no matter what collection, isn't really an indication if it's a fake or not, because you could easily buy one from a website that just scalped them, opened them up, put a fake Lafufu in the box, and then sold them to you for a higher price. So in my opinion, I don't think price range is a clear indication of if you're getting a Labubu or a Lafufu. In my opinion though, despite people saying the price being a clear indication and I disagreeing, the biggest thing in my personal opinion that makes it real is the QR code on the back of the box. Most fake Labubus don't have a QR code sticker at all. So if you happen to be shopping at the mall and you see a third party selling a Labubu, all you have to do is pick up the box, turn it around, and if there is no QR sticker on the back of the box, you can basically come to the conclusion that it is fake. You could put the box back and move on with your day, or you could buy it and risk the chance of getting a Lafufu. Not even risk, you would be guaranteeing that you'd be getting a Lafufu. And hey, maybe if you like them, you know, they're kind of cute. Sometimes you get a cute one, sometimes not. So it's kind of up to you. It's up to you to take that chance. But now I've seen that these fake Labubus are getting so good that companies are now making QR codes that mimic the PopMart QR code. So you can't even essentially use the QR code sticker as a definite, oh, this is real or not, but it definitely is a clear indication if it's missing. So don't get too excited yet. You're not free and clear quite yet. But another indication on looking at the box is if it has the pull tab on the top. PopMart has a very iconic way of opening up a blind box where they put this tab across the top that you pull and it is red underneath. A lot of times the Lafufus, if they do have a QR code on the back, will just simply be taped across the front. I actually have a YouTube short that you can go and watch where you blatantly see that the box is just taped shut on the exciting macaroon box. So if it's taped, you know that you're getting a Lafufu. So at this point, if you're seeing all the green flags with the QR code on the back, the color scheme being right, the size being right on the box, and the pull tab across the top, you're not quite free and clear yet, because unfortunately, because of the hype of these Labubus, there still are fakes. There's still Lafufus, even if you've checked all of this. So let's go a step further once you've made the purchase of the box and get inside the box. The first thing you're gonna wanna do after purchasing is grab a quarter or your nail or a pen and scratch off that QR code on the back. You should see 2 rows of numbers. What you're gonna wanna do is scan it with your camera on your phone, and it should instantly take you to the PopMart website where you'll hit the button that says scan for authenticity. And you're gonna type in the last 4 numbers of that QR code. Now, if it is authentic, it should come back green that says, yay, authentic, and it will keep track of the timestamp of when you've authenticated your Labubu. But sometimes you will scan it with your camera and it will take you to a different website that looks very similar to PopMart, but is not quite right. So keep an eye on that website that populates at the bottom. If it's fake, it will pop up a different web domain and then it will switch it to PopMart. So just like watch it as it loads, and that's a clear indication of if it's real or not. Now, once you get that green go sign on the back of your Labubu,
excuse me,
you are still not finished yet because scammers be scamming. So now you get to open up the box and see what's inside. Every Labubu comes inside of a bag, inside of a box. And inside that box is a little tag that will have the Labubu that you'll be receiving, their name, and just like, a nice little keepsake for you to authenticate that it is a Labubu. Even the fakes have this now. But a clear indication if you have a fake or not is if this card does not match the Labubu you get in the box. So say I've got Baba here and for some reason you pull, I don't know, Dada, then you know that something went real wrong and you probably have a fake. And if you don't get a card at all, it's not looking good. Not looking good because a lot of the Lafufus have cards. Now, once you've opened up your Labubu and you have dealt with either the excitement that you got the one you wanted, yeah, or the disappointment that it's not the one you wanted, here's some quick things you could do instantly to authenticate if you have a real Labubu or not, QR code and box aside. 9 teeth. Labubus only have 9 teeth. If they have more, it is not real. Simple as that. The ears are pointed inward towards each other versus them going straight up and down parallel. Like they should kind of point towards each other at the top. The feet do not spin. They don't move at all. Despite Google's AI feature saying that they do spin, they don't. The feet should not spin. Let me grab a Lafufu here. Look at these feet. They be spinning. Real Labubu's feet don't spin. Sorry, you're very cute though, but your feet be spinning. Every Labubu has a PopMart logo on the left foot. And then on the right foot should be the logo that is a UV shown only logo. So you'll have to get a UV light and shine it on the foot, and it should be a very clear logo on the right foot. I'm gonna grab my Lafufu here and show you if it looks like this, where the logo is like, not even UV at all. Yeah, look at that. Like, that's not UV at all. You can see that. I'm so sorry, you're a Lafufu, but I still love you. You're very cute. I would know what a Lafufu looks like because I've been, getting a bunch of Lafufus instead of Labubus. So, yeah, it's fine. I fell for it, so you don't have to. One thing I've noticed no one is talking about is that a real Labubu has a wire in the hands that make it difficult to move and makes your Labubu a little bit more posable. Another way to tell if your Labubu is real is all the spelling correct on your Labubu. Like this one definitely says PopMart and not PopMart or any version of that. And double check every part. Like, does the monsters on the tag check out? Does it say PopMart on the paper tag as well? Does the monsters on the top where the ring is actually say the monsters? I've gotten one that said something very different. Like this one says the monsters, but the tag... My favorite tag I've ever gotten. Look at that PopMart. You want to go to PopMart? He is my ugliest Lafufu, but it's okay. I love him. I'm gonna get him a cute outfit. I gotta glue your eyeball on, bud. Oh my gosh, this poor guy, his feet are completely backwards. The UV and then the PopMart on his feet are completely backwards compared to the others. So pretty easy indication that he is not real. Plus they have a pretty standard look. So when you put two that are supposed to be Baba next to each other, and they just look very different. Can you spot the difference? I sure can't. Now with the QR code on the back of the box, they also have a QR code on the tag of them too. There is a QR code on the tag that says PopMart that I'm covering with my finger, and it will say the phrase, scan with the phone for authenticity. And a lot of the Lafufus won't have that QR code and won't have that phrasing written on it. However, I have heard that the very first version of the exciting macaroons, some of them don't have that QR code. So don't panic if everything else is checking out so far and you're like, oh my gosh, I've had mine for a long time. That QR code isn't there. It must be fake. The very first version of them did not have that QR code on the tag. But since the rise of the Labubus, the monsters, basically PopMart and the team came together and are like, okay, we need to add another QR code to authenticate because there's so many fakes now. It's insane. Now, if you are interested in getting a have a seat Labubu, another indicator is that the ring should be the same color as the Labubu, and also so should the ribbon that it is attached to. So if you are getting a Labubu that is purple and the ring is blue, then it is not an authentic Labubu. Yellow Labubu, yellow ring, yellow ribbon. So the exciting macaroons are a little bit different, where they all have this sort of tan gold ribbon and ring. Now that you've sat here and made it through this entire video, I'm gonna put a couple examples next to each other and let you decide which one is real and which one is fake. The answers will be in the comments. Ooh, I should go easy first. All right, here's number one. One is yellow and one is gray. Put your answer in the comments below. That is number one. How about number two? I'll give you an easy one. That one shouldn't take that long. I think you got it. Ooh, this one might be tough. Number three. Oh. Hang on. All right, one is yellow. And one is blue. I feel like this one should be kind of easy too. Should I give you a hard one? Let's go hard for number four. Okay, this one had me stumped for a little bit. Both are yellow. Both are the same. There's a clear indicator that I mentioned earlier on in the video that you don't even need to see the QR code for this one. Did you guess the right Labubu or the left Labubu? Which one is real? Which is the Lafufu? Answers will be posted in the comment section down below. Thank you for joining me on this journey. Let me know in the comment section down below if you've got a Labubu and if you can't tell if it's real or fake. Also, be sure to check out my shorts, and I will see you Dare Bear Cubs in the next upload. Bye! Mwah.